You are listening to the Author Diary Entries podcast. I'm your host, Sagan Morrow, and this is episode number 189. It has finally happened. At long last, I have finished book 8 in my Polyamorous Passions series. So exciting. It will be released very soon. Publishing day is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. This novel has been a long time coming, and I am really looking forward to sharing it with you. With that in mind, today I want to give you a little teaser with the book title and share with you a little bit about this particular book. But first, a very brief background to this story. Polyamorous Passions follows the lives of 3 best friends as they each embark on their own journeys into consensual non-monogamy. This is a 9-book series that essentially includes 3 trilogies within it. Books 1 to 3 focused on Emma, books 4 to 6 focused on Helen, and books 7 to 9 focused on Scarlet. Each novella can be enjoyed as a standalone, but you will definitely get more out of them if you read all the stories in the series because they all build on one another. Each story connects back to the previous stories, and you will see the same characters will crop up and throughout the series. So it's kind of fun to read the entire series. Then you'll understand all of the little nuances. You'll get all of the Easter eggs. It's a lot more fun that way. And since this upcoming release is book 8 in the series, it is the second story in Scarlet's trilogy. So at any rate, if you didn't read any of the other books, I would at the very least strongly encourage you to read book 7, Her Bad Idea, prior to reading this upcoming release in order to get the most out of it, because it's just a lot of fun that way. If you're going to read a trilogy, you might as well start with book 1 rather than getting into book 2. And you can kind of consider books 7, 8, and 9 in the Polyamorous Passion series to be books 1, 2, and 3 of Scarlet's trilogy. Without further ado, let's do the title reveal, shall we? My upcoming release, book 8 in the Polyamorous Passion series and the second story in Scarlet's trilogy, is titled Kiss Me. Kiss Me is a heartwarming short novel featuring found family, morally gray decisions, a couple of steamier scenes, and a people-pleasing burlesque performer who's learning how to put herself first. Here's the back of the book blurb. Then it's settled. The Dusky Panther will become a burlesque club. Just you wait, Lady Salty Sweetness. We are going to change the landscape of this city together. Basking in her recent dance competition triumph, a budding romance with her swoon-worthy dance partner Pete Fraser, and now the career opportunity of a lifetime handed to her on a silver platter, Scarlet Lady Salty Sweetness Mitchell might finally have it all. Or does she? We made a mistake, Scarlet. I can't pretend it didn't mean anything. A non-monogamous relationship with Pete isn't as easy as Scarlet thought it would be. Unintended secrets build between them, escalating when new realizations come to light with her long-standing, unrequited, or is it, crush, Wesley Prince. And as Scarlet works with the owner of the Dusky Panther to transform the nightclub into a burlesque-specific club, she must also navigate new-to-her creative blocks and performer anxieties. Can Scarlet learn to trust herself to make the right decisions? Will she find the courage within to follow her heart? Who will she become when she sets aside people-pleasing and finally goes after what she wants? In this much-anticipated sequel to the beloved Her Bad Idea, Scarlet wrestles with her life choices and steps into the gray area of being in a polyamorous relationship. You can pre-order your copy at saganmorrow.com/books or search Kiss Me by Sagan Morrow on your favorite ebook store platform. Kiss Me has 3 main interlocking plots throughout the novel. There is Scarlet's relationship with her boyfriend, Pete. There's her yearning for her unrequited crush, Wes. And there is her new career opportunity with the owner of the Dusky Panther, Zach. I haven't written a book quite like this before, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Each of these three aspects of the plot are very important for her character development and for the entire arc of the novel. There are also two key themes that you will notice come up again and again for each of those three main and interlocking plots. And those two key themes are exclusivity and trust. We see different characters experiencing and reacting to various types of fears and insecurities. Confidence and desirability and stuckness and running away all play into this. One thing I also want to mention here regarding the connection that this book has to the other ones that I've already written and published is that Scarlett's unrequited crush, Wes, is mentioned in the very first book of the Polyamorous Passions series. I believe he actually makes an appearance in every single novel in the series leading up to this one. So for that reason, it would be especially useful to read the previous books in the series and to kind of see the relationship that Scarlett has with Wes over the years, really, because I think we're now like 5 years. The series spans like 5 years. So it's really interesting to kind of see how he's portrayed, and now we get to actually see him as a true main character in these novels. Plus, the entire premise of this novel, which is that whole idea of the Dusky Panther being transformed into a burlesque specific club, that concept comes from a scene in Small Town Stilettos, which is a spin-off novel from this main series. Small Town Stilettos is set in the Polyamorous Passions universe, but it follows an entirely different set of characters. The three main characters of the Polyamorous Passions series, Emma, Helen, and Scarlett, all make a cameo in one scene of Small Town Stilettos, which then sets the stage for this new novel, my upcoming release, Kiss Me. So with that in mind, the chronological reading order is the exact same order in which I've published my books to date. You can read books 1 to 7 in the Polyamorous Passions series, then read the Small Town Stilettos spin-off novel, and then you can read my upcoming novel, Kiss Me, which is book 8 in the Polyamorous Passions series. So that would be the best reading order for getting all of the nuances, all of the background leading up to this new one. Now, I have to say that I have struggled a lot over the years with how to categorize my books into genres. They are contemporary romance, but they aren't all laugh out loud funny enough that I would consider all of them to be romantic comedies. There's definitely like rom-com vibes to them, but I'm a little bit reluctant to say that every single book that I've written classifies as a romantic comedy. They also all feature main characters in their late 20s to early 30s, so they aren't quite new adult, even though they are navigating their experience, and there's kind of like an adult version of coming of age sort of thing happening because they're all learning new things about their identities. It doesn't quite fit in the new adult genre. I think that the best way to describe all of my books as a whole is chick lit. And Kiss Me in particular has, I think, less rom-com vibes than some of my other novellas. It definitely has some humor, but it's much more in line with classic chick lit. So if that's something that meets your vibe, fantastic. That's just something that I'm trying to figure these things out. You know, it's really hard as an author. I find it very challenging anyways to determine what exactly the genre or the subgenre is that I'm writing. And I think that part of this stems from the fact that I don't typically write my stories with specific tropes in mind or a specific genre in mind. I'm just telling the story that the characters are presenting to me. And then once I've written the story, then I'm looking back through the book and I'm thinking, okay, what exactly, how do I classify this in a way that readers will understand what this is about? Which maybe, you know, might not be the best way to do it, but it's what works really well for me. So One of the things I did, with Her Bad Idea and Small Town Stilettos, the last 2 books that I published, for both of them, I pre-planned the tropes in advance because I did have specific tropes for one thing that I wanted to write. And for another, I was also getting frustrated with not being able to identify certain, what tropes are even in my books to be able to market them effectively. I did not do that with Kiss Me. I did not have any tropes in mind or anything like that. And I think as a result, it's been a little bit harder to classify it. So that's a thing. But I think you could safely call all of my books chick lit. Like, you can safely call them that. Now, with Kiss Me, this book is really about standing on a precipice. There's an interesting reluctance to move forward. There is a vying for control against the desperation to move forward. Scarlett is at the center of almost this hurricane of movement happening around her. It's kind of like she's standing on a revolving platform or standing on an escalator as it moves beneath her. The entire story has that sort of tension to it. There's a lot of tension in this book. There's a wanting to take the step forward and a resistance out of fear, out of uncertainty, out of insecurity to making that happen. And that is also reflected in the narrative structure of this book because there are a lot of flashbacks and backstory woven throughout, especially in the first few chapters, which at times keeps the reader from being able to fully move forward with the story, which I really like. I think that there's a really interesting experience how you as the reader feel you are experiencing the tension that Scarlett is having as well. I like to think that this is the type of novel that might make you want to throw your copy of the book across the room in frustration, but then you will immediately go and pick it back up again because you get what Scarlett's going through and you have been where she is because you felt fears or insecurities in some way in your own life, and you need to know what will unfold for her and whether she can get past it, because if she can get past it, so can you. If you like the sounds of that, you can pre-order your copy at saganmorrow.com/books or search Kiss Me by Sagan Morrow on your favorite ebook store platform. I will make sure to include the links in the show notes for this episode. That's a wrap on today's episode. Find me on Instagram and Threads to share your thoughts about this episode. My handle is @SaganLives. I would love to hear your own insights or any questions that you have, and to simply continue the conversation with you on those platforms. As always, you can access the show notes and the transcript of this episode at saganmorrow.com/podcast. And if you are enjoying the Author Diary Entries podcast, please take 2 minutes to rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform, or give it a share on social media so that your friends and community can tune in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.